Hey, yo, what's up, guys? What's up? Welcome back. Oh, man, I got a little itch on my nose. Having my pizza for lunch. You know what I'm saying? I got barbecue flavor, man. Look at that. Barbecue chicken and bacon, bro. That's good. At first, I like the steak stuff, you know, for Papa John's. Right now. Oh, fuck. Alright, but anyways, still pretty hot. Long story short, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, you know, the whole doom scrolling shit. You guys got to realize, right, I see a lot of these, like, red pill, MGTOW, whatever the fuck guys. Mind you, these guys are, like, most of these guys are dying off, right? That's it. I mean, the whole, like, fucking, this whole MGTOW movement, is dying off. I'm not saying that the MGTOWs themselves are dying off, although I'm sure some of them, you know, have, you know, ended themselves, but, you know, all I can say is the best prayers for everyone involved. And, you know, you always got to see things for the better and the worse. You don't say, you know, it's just all bad, it's all good. No. The fucking piece of ash. It's for better and worse, right? Better and worse. Don't say better or worse, just better and worse. Because what the good comes to bad. All right, but honestly, you know, I found these old videos. I found some videos of, you know, from these, like, streamers and people doing reaction videos and shit. And, you know, these guys are saying that, you know, like, hey, you know what, the younger generation of men, that, you know, a lot of men nowadays, they're not protecting women. They see a woman getting, you know, harassed, getting her ass kicked, some dude's trying to grab her and shit. He's just gonna walk away. He's just gonna, like, stand there like, all right, whatever the fuck, right? Now, this is for multiple reasons, right? Especially for the fucking MGTOW guys out there that, like, these, you know, these tradcon guys out there, you know, that want this patriarchal system. They don't realize that this patriarchal system is most likely gonna fuck them over, right? And be honest with you. I'll be honest with all of you guys, because this, oh fuck, oh my fingers. This patriarchal system that they, you know, that they encourage and all, they don't realize that these systems, like, actively fuck over guys. Even more than the modern day. If anything, these, like, MGTOW, incel, you know, quote-unquote subhuman guys, they are better off in the modern post-feminist, post-industrial system. I'll be honest, because, you know, back then it was like you had to be a badass to survive. To even make it past infancy, right? To even, like, be born and stay intact up until the age of 5, like, you had to have something going for you. And your parents had to have something going for them, and your parents had to be good to you, right? So if your dad was a dipshit or something, or your mom was some, like, dumb fucking idiot or something, and just, like, left you behind or some shit, that's it. Like, you're fucked, dude. You're fucked. Same thing with your tribe. If your tribe was, like, you know, who gives a fuck, or they got their asses kicked or whatever, you're done, dude. Especially if you were a man, a boy, because you got to realize back then, you know, the whole snipping thing, that was a legit thing. Same thing with, you know, killing boys, you know, as young, sometimes even infant boys, because, you know, guys don't want competition. You know, because in the old, you know, patriarchal systems, guys were quite literally, you know, fucking, like, they would have eunuchs in their court. Because if one guy gets, like, okay, say one guy has a harem, right? He's got a harem and he's got, like, 1,000, 10,000 hoes or some crazy ass shit in there, right? And so he's got like 10,000 kids with him, and half of those kids are his daughters. And half of his sons, right? Would this fucking emperor, sultan, high ranking dude want men out there with high testosterone, capable and, you know, able to do things? Probably not. Like, I'm gonna ask you, right? I'm gonna leave this up to you. I'm presenting the information and my observations and inferences, and then you can make your fucking, I don't know, conclusions, predictions, do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm just saying, you know what? I'm not here to give my opinion. I would say, you know, these high-ranking, you know, high-status dudes in these societies, they would not want that shit. Why would they want these high testosterone, you know, aggressive males running around and possibly fucking shit up? Unless if you have this like warrior culture, right? That's just like they're focused on just like going to other countries, kicking ass, you know, fucking just invade their country, burn down all their fucking cities, take their gold, their furniture, whatever, you know, fancy shit they have there, their, you know, fancy food or whatever. I don't know, take all their like hoes or women, their daughters, whatever, take them all for yourselves and just pass them around, right? Just smash and pass. Just run a train on them. I'm feeling a little sick today, but I got enough energy now to where I can actually talk and be coherent here. Of course, I'm going to be smacking shit. Alright, let's get back to it. You know, a lot of these you know, these subhuman incel guys, they would not do well in this system. 99% of them are going to get washed out. If anything, they're actually better off in this post-industrial era. Problem is, a lot of these, you know, these tradcon guys, they don't want to adapt. They don't want to, you know, adapt and accept the new system. You know, in this new system, you know, single mothers is just, it's a thing now, right? A lot of children, they're going to grow up in homes without a father. You know, that's just the way it is, all right? And in many ways, that's actually beneficial for the child, especially if that child is a son. You know, because you don't have that father figure in there constantly beating them down, constantly causing stress, constantly, you know, quote unquote, making them learn things the hard way. And making them be more, you know, like a submissive member of society. Because all that's going to do is that's going to affect their development negatively. All this stress, this abuse, this trauma, that's why you see a lot of these guys, you know, that's why a lot of these, you know, these boomers, they're holding on to shit that, or they're holding on to these old traditions. And then you have these younger guys, you know, it doesn't work for them anymore. So what do? They, you know, go fucking shoot up places. They, I don't know, they just end up like drifting, being homeless, just doing the bare minimum to survive, right? And usually anything, you know, related with like a relationship with sex is gonna be like every now and then, right? He'll, I don't know, he'll go on online dating, he'll match with someone maybe like, I don't know, once or twice a month, 4 times, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times a month. And he'll, you know, I don't know, he'll fucking like find some women and like he'll have a date with her. He'll, you know, just find some like, I don't know, pay for an escort or something, fuck her, and I don't know, cream pie or whatever. That's just the way it is these days. You got to accept that shit. All right? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is, right? You know, there's a lot of ways that, you know, women and men benefit from this. Because if you have a society where women are viewed as objects, what are men going to do? They're going to kill each other over that shit. And a lot of men, you know, back then, men would quite literally, you know, like rape and violate and abuse their women, like other men's women, just to humiliate them. It's like a psyops, right? It's like killing him is not going to make a difference. Now, if you do shit to his wife, his daughter, you know, the women in his country, his city, oh my God, bro. That is a massive, massive fucking morale destroyer. Nowadays, it's like, all right, you know, like with a lot of younger guys, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. You know, these older guys, you know, like most of this white knighting that you see, most of this simping is with, you know, these older guys. Usually they come from, you know, a European background. I'm just gonna say they come from a European background, you know, and I was like, you know, yeah, European background. They're the ones that are simping. They're the ones that are white knighting. They're the ones that are actively, you know, protecting women and all that. Younger guys, they're not doing it. They ain't doing it. I'm gonna be honest with you, like most of these guys that are advocating for this, like, you know, for this like tradcon whatever society, they're actually gonna be doing worse, right? Aside from like a small 1%, 2% of people that will essentially reap all the benefits, right? You know, they'll have all the money, they'll have, you know, they'll have all the money, they have all the control, all the property, you know, they'll have all the women for themselves, you know, they'll own everything, right? And then, you know, over like maybe a couple generations, fucking, you know, their grandchildren are gonna be fucking inbred because they all have the same fucking dad. Then, you know, what happens, right? A couple of generations later, then you got guys like, okay, fuck this. Destroy the entire city, right? So, if you're one of these, you know, bro, quote unquote, you know, subhuman, sub 5 guys, I'm just saying, you don't want to be living in this, you know, old school patriarchy. You don't. It's better, huh? If anything, you are more likely to have children in this system. You are more likely to be successful in this current system. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? Because if you live back in the day, there's one of two possibilities. One, you get killed. I'm not talking about like the technology. I'm just talking about the systems that it was, you know, designed to be. You were killed, you were a slave, and or got your nuts chopped off, got your dick chopped off, you're pissing yourself, and like everyone fucking makes fun of you. That would have been like of the few possibilities for 99% of guys, right? Would have been killed, disabled, like treated like a slave. You know, you weren't just treated like a slave. You were seen as a liability, right? Because in a patriarchal system, if this one guy has all the money and power for himself, then by default, other men are just a liability. They're a risk to him and his power and wealth. Think about that. You guys don't fucking get it, do you? So, That's why, you know, you just got to learn to embrace the new system. Whatever it is, you know, I mean, whatever this new fucking system is, embrace it, adapt to it, accept it, because well, you trying to hang on to these old traditions, it's not going to work, bro. All you're doing is just suffering. You're digging yourself a deeper hole. And mind you, I've done that before. You know, I was trying to hold on to this old nostalgic shit, and it costed me. It cost me a fuckload of money, dude. It ended up costing me more than money. It cost me time, my health, a lot of shit. Gotta let that shit go, guys. Just abandon it. No need to try to save it. If anything, the more you try to resist this new system, the worse it's gonna get. So just accept it, dude. Make the best you can of it. All right, that's it. Signing out.